Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're running through 5 of the worst transfers the January transfer window has ever seen in the Premier League. The start of the new year is meant to bring happy times, fresh starts, and that should apply to football clubs and their fancy new January signings. But sometimes, well often, January transfers end up being rushed, panicked and very costly. If you're fighting relegation or desperate to push for trophies or Champions League football, you can often get ripped off by extortionate fees, players being cup-tied, or not given a full pre-season with their new teammates. Or just still hungover from New Year's Eve celebrations. Either way, January transfer windows are awkward and often desperate times. So we thought we'd capitalise on that by listing 5 of the worst in the Premier League. To start things off, Juan Cuadrado, £22 million. Fiorentina to Chelsea. Juan Cuadrado appeared to many football fans as a dynamic, powerful and aggressive winger, plying his trade at a club a little bit lower than he deserved to play in Italy for Fiorentina. Mourinho came in with Chelsea offering him titles and Champions League football. However, Jose Mourinho never seemed to trust Cuadrado, and he made just 4 starts at Stamford Bridge before being loaned out to Juventus in the same year, a few months later in August of 2015. Some of the signings in this list are criminally overpaid signings, or they failed to deliver for their new clubs what they were expected to. Cuadrado joined for a fair fee, but never appeared to click. Maybe his mismanagement of style, or he just didn't enjoy playing for Mourinho, who loved to park the bus. Since moving back to Italy, he has been classed for Juventus, and Colombians would say he's still a top-class winger. Well, they said that about James Rodriguez, and look how that played out. Scoring 0 goals in 13 appearances is pretty dire, considering Chelsea were playing so well at the time, as they eventually became champions that season. Sometimes the glove, or the football boot in this instance, just doesn't fit. Wilfried Bony, Man City, £30 million. Bony arrived in Manchester in the same January transfer window as Cuadrado, primed to the answer of Aguero's injury problems, and to provide the goals for Pellegrini's men to excel back to the top of the Premier League table, which they failed to do so. 26 goals in 54 appearances for Swansea and 46 in 65 for Vitesse Arnhem suggested Bony had the trajectory to be the next great Ivorian Premier League striker like this guy. However, he scored just 1 goal every 6 appearances for City before being shipped on loan to Stoke. It's 4 years since he played for City, and can you guess how many goals he's scored in his professional club career since then? 10 goals in 4 years. Bony at points looks powerful and clinical in front of goal, but 1 goal every 4 games on average in the last 4 years is pretty abysmal. Maybe playing with the likes of Sergio Aguero just ruined his confidence. Or maybe he was just never that good. Who knows? Chris Samba. Angie to QPR, £12 million. You shouldn't be paying massive wages when you get a stadium that can only hold 18,000 people, said Harry Redknapp. He explained this to journalists, asking why someone as bad as Chris Samba was paid $100,000 a week for a small club in West London that only QPR fans have ever heard of. Samba came from Russia and was expected to save QPR from the drop. On his day, mainly for Blackburn, he was exceptional, having a great goal-scoring record as well as defensive output for a strong Blackburn side. However, the Russian league is where decent players go to unravel their careers on a bed of cold hard cash. Samba came back the shadow of himself, much slower and less powerful, and QPR got relegated. Samba was on a 4.5-year contract on $100,000 a week, and that alone deserves Samba's spot on this list. Fernando Torres, Liverpool to Chelsea, £50 million. If Fernando Torres didn't score that Champions League semi-final winning, Gary Neville screaming, Barcelona fans crying moment in the Nou Camp in 2012, he'd be our number 1 pick for sure. However, that goal was pure class. The first touch, rounding his Spanish compatriot Victor Valdez with ease, and the celebration, being a Madrid fan in Barcelona, that was pure gold. However, there is a big but. Just 1 goal in his first 18 games is abysmal. Torres was expected to shine the following season after a nice summer break and pre-season. That never transpired, as Torres kept getting niggling injuries and he had major doubts in his confidence in front of goal. Torres at Liverpool and Chelsea look like 2 different men. He went from scoring 65 goals and 102 for Liverpool to only 20 goals in more games for Chelsea. Shame, as for $50 million you expect more than that. Andy Carroll tops this list with his £35 million move to Liverpool from Newcastle. Andy Carroll recently announced when he was having his Liverpool medical he was desperate to fail it so he could stay at his beloved Magpies. However, for £35 million Mike Ashley would sell his nan, so Andy Carroll left. Imagine buying a new Ferrari, well the value of 35 Ferraris at least, and then not being allowed to drive it for 3 months, and then realising it was never going to drive properly anyway. Andy Carroll was often injured, unenergetic, a bit cumbersome, who could just smash the ball really hard on his left foot and put his head on the end of some lumpy crosses. He didn't even play for Liverpool until March the 17th of that year, And despite some nice goals against Man City and Liverpool rivals Everton in the FA Cup, 6 goals in 44 appearances for 35 million quid at the time is abysmal. And the clunky Geordie went to West Ham and kept being injured for other clubs instead. Thanks for watching, guys. Did you have any other picks for players that were completely uninspiring transfers? Let us know in the comments below and we'll see you soon.